Alright, this is for the Third Edict, Path of Exile 2. With the launch of POE2, the Third Edict over the weekend, we've been keeping a close eye on feedback and issues that have been arising. We've released 13 hotfixes since launch and are currently working on the 0.3.0b patch, and will fix a lot of outstanding issues, including the Warbringer's Totem Ascendancy notable. We expect to release it by the end of the week. Cool. Abyssal monsters can now be bound as specters. Interesting. Vessel of Kulumek's teleport slam can no longer be avoided, and the damage it deals has been reduced. I'm not sure how to feel about that. Improve the telegraphing for the Vessel of Kulumek's arena-wide cleave. The cleave has been made easier to dodge in the final part of the fight. Oh. Excuse me, it's pretty late here. The area is overrun by the Abyssal. Map modifier now spreads pits over the large area of the spreads it over a larger amount of the area. Strider of the Pit's Spear Slam now has a global cooldown, and they stop tracking with their Storm skill when you are far enough away. Reduce damage of the crystal wall used by Abyssal Stranglers. Reduce the movement speed of the Shepherd of the Pit and reduce the damage dealt by their ground effect. Improve the invulnerability visual effect of the Lightless Marae. The ignite chance and damage from its shade form explosion has also been reduced. Abyssal monsters introduce some of their own skills over the first 3 acts instead of being able to use all their skills from Act 1. Remove the motion blur effect from the Abyssal Pit, or when the Abyssal Pits close. Okay, that's all fine. Hopefully the FPS improves as a result of some of those changes. One-time rare monsters found in the campaign no longer have their fixed hidden modifiers used as tame beasts or specters. Huh. You will no longer remain locked onto enemies while sprinting. This improves cases where you would sprint away from an enemy when unintentionally turn around to use the targeting skill of that enemy. I want to see roll and sprint separate. You can now use instance management. The button to jump into the Well of Souls. You can now use /hideout and similar commands from the Well of Souls. Maps without a map boss no longer spawn a boss arena with only a rare monster pack. Render windows will now remember any search text you've entered on a per NPC basis until you exit the character selection. Boss fights with 2 bosses should now correctly restart from the beginning when a player resurrects at checkpoint after killing just 1 boss. Soul Siphoner monster modifier has been reworked. The inner ring now reduces damage dealt, and the outer ring skill speed for each time you use a skill while standing in it. Both rings deal damage over time. Previously, both rings prevented mana recovery, drained mana, and dealt lightning damage over time. Forge Hammer no longer costs mana when you use to recall the hammer, and other skills such as War Cries cannot empower that use. Doedri's Dark Design triggered by Doedri's Undying support? Or Undying support? Typo. Now deals spell damage instead of secondary damage. Added missing duration and ground effect types to his foul emergence skill to allow it to function with relevant support gems. Temporarily disable the following rogue exiles. Oh. We fought Tawa. We fought Ulfred too. We fought a couple of them. I wonder why they're disabled. The Derelict Mansion map boss arena no longer requires finding a tome to open. Boss arena and Derelict Mansion map will now be open if you die to the bosses after opening it once. Excuse me. The Raised Fields map boss, or not map boss, but just map, no longer stops you from entering the boss arena after it has been started. Barrier outside the church in Erastus no longer can be broken earlier. Oh, so they don't want you skipping the text? Really? But what if you're like trying to speedrun the game? You have to wait now? Improve the telegraphing of Yama. The White's future sight skill. Why am I yawning so much? Jeez. Increase the cooldown for some of Torvian Hand of the Savior's skills. The projectile speed of the bouncing axe skill has also been reduced, and the amount of freeze buildup on Torvian causes when under the effects of the Twilight Order's sword buff has been reduced. Scourge of the Sky's Birdstorm skill can no longer be avoided. Slam combo skill used by Kurtog, Lord of Ken, can no longer be avoided. Some of the skills used by Great White One can no longer be avoided. Tracking of Asmati, the Ferrodin Prince triple lacerate skill is now more lenient. I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate that. He could also most likely use a little bit of a damage tone down. He's very punishing. You can now use portals after defeating Seora, Blade of the Mists. Oswin, the Dread Warden, now removes all the buffs he has applied to the player when he is killed. Reduce the likelihood of Treant Falspawns firing projectiles whilst walking. Reduce the damage of Crab's quill projectiles. Updated the description of life tap support to clarify it turns the supported skill mana cost into a life cost rather than stating a portion of. Updated the Tabna's Pillar world map icon to correctly describe the benefits it provides. Updated the Navali's Rest world map icon to indicate it provides a permanent benefit. Ooh, permanent benefit, that's pretty nice. Corrected and simplified Meditate's description. This is purely a description change. Clarified the skill description for Infernal Cry to indicate that it only empowers melee attacks. Thunderous Leap's description no longer inaccurately mentions that it only detonates spear skills. As with any detonator skill, it detonates anything that it is capable of being detonated. Okay, I'm not sure how much that will change, but maybe it will pan out more in the future. A lot of bug fixes. Dare we read them? Fixed an issue where ancestral spirits granted by Warbringer's answered call notable passive skill was failing to summon ancestral minions. Fixed a bug where you were unable to dodge roll past enemies when you were partially surrounded. Fixed a bug where the abyssal pits in area always have rewards modifier was not functioning correctly. Fixed a bug where whirling slashes travel distance could no longer change based on your attack speed. Fixed a bug where specters and tamed beasts could benefit from the out of combat life regeneration common to all persistent minions while in combat. Fixed a bug where reloading could fail on crossbows. Fixed a bug where persistent skills could not be activated when shapeshifted. Fixed a bug where the Brutus's Brain support causes support minions to take no damage, still worked with the damage from the hits taken from your damage of minions' life before you from the Starkonja's head unique helmet. That's a difficulty. Let me try and read that one again. Fixed the bug where the Brutus's Brain support, which causes supported minions to take no damage, still worked with the damage from hit is taken from your damageable companion's life before you. Okay, I see. It was like being overridden by a unique helmet, and they're saying that's not going to happen anymore. It was a bug. Fixed a bug where increases to Frostbomb limit was not functioning correctly with the spell Cascade support. Fixed an issue where the On Citadel support was not obtainable. Fixed a bug where the Defy 2 support was only disallowing insufficient mana from preventing the use of supported melee attacks rather than any supported attacks. Fixed an issue where the twin bow attack speed was unintentionally higher than the other bow-based types, but with the same implicit. Fixed a bug where the Ember Fusillade, when supported by wild shards, would be able to keep the additional projectiles from a wild shards proc by interrupting it fully firing. Fixed a bug where resonating shield, shield wall, and fortifying cries shockwaves did not scale with the area of modifiers. Fixed an issue where some infusion duration small passives were labeled as infusion damage. A notable in Sorcerer's starting area has also been renamed from infusion spell damage to principal infusion. You're not getting more damage. Fixed a bug where Grizzly Pyre from his Winnowing Flame skill did not describe how much damage it was dealing from consuming ignites on enemies. Fixed a bug which allowed Forge Hammer to be used in cases where it should be unusable. Uh-oh. What do they mean by that? Forge Hammer's been working just fine for me. What do you mean where it should be unusable? Is this like am I gonna log in soon to a completely different skill? Fixed a bug where some map device microtransactions would place you inside of the map device when returning from a map, and others were missing their interactable object. Fixed a bug where the final Act 4 boss could spawn a duplicate version during the fight. Fixed a bug where travel skills could not be used in Asmati the Ferrodin Prince's boss arena. Sure, that would be frustrating. Fixed a bug where the Wayward Isle map sometimes could not be completed. Fixed a bug where Syora, Blade of the Mist, Syntherial, the Umbral Wraith had a lingering damage reduction buff. Fixed a bug where defeating Manoki the Chosen in the Jade Isles map did not complete the map. Fixed a bug where the Wetlands map boss was not attacking as they constantly trying to path to a rock that doesn't exist. Fixed a bug where you could be unable to enter the boss arena in the Raised Fields map. Fixed a bug where the Wetlands, Lofty Summit, Derelict Mansion, and Ornate Chambers maps sometimes did not allow you to use a portal in the boss arena after defeating the boss. Fixed an issue where some of the mighty Silverfist's attacks were not correctly telegraphing that they were unavoidable. Fixed a bug where rare monster packs could spawn in invalid locations in the Rugosa and Hidden Grotto maps. Fix a bug where skeletal cobras and Tahoa mystic monsters were missing their monster categories. Fix a bug where the slowing debuff from the water and solitary confinement was not affected by slow potency for reals this time. Oh, okay. I see. So if you invested into slow potency, then it should affect the water now. For reals. We swear. Fix a bug. Sorry. That was bothering me. Fix a bug where the Tahoan Tower Shield, Golden Targe, Black Steel Crest Shield, and Desert Buckler base types did not have any block chance or grant Raised Shield or parry for their respective base type. This change does not apply to existing items. Fixed an issue that prevented you from completing the Grand Quest from obtaining your first 2 expedition skill points if you had held a logbook before talking to Danig and obtaining your rewards. Fixed a bug where the traveling merchant in the Kari crossing sometimes did not come out of hiding after killing the surrounding monsters. Fixed a bug where you are unable to store more than 300 simulacrum splinters in the Delirium stash tab. Fixed a bug where uncut gems could not be sorted correctly in the gem stash. Fixed a bug where unique items introduced in 0.3.0 could not be stored in the unique stash tab. Fixed a bug where the cutscene for entering in-game from the interludes was not playing. Fixed a bug where player 2 was unable to interact with the Well of Souls in couch co-op. Fixed a bug where UI navigation and couch co-op interaction the salvage bench. Fixed a bug where you were unable to travel to the Ziggurat Refuge from a waypoint when using a controller. Fixed a bug where the game would not always unpause after applying a Vol Orb to an essence when using a controller. Fixed a bug where the Amanamu's Void debuff was missing a description. Fixed a bug where items for sale at the Gambler were sometimes not detailing whether the base type provided armor, evasion, or energy shield. Fixed a bug where you could not filter using negative numbers in the in-game trade market. Fixed a bug where some players would have selected a hideout after logging into a different platform. Fixed a bug where the show only available option cosmetics window did not work until you unticked and reticked it. Fixed a bug where part of the passive skill tree was not visible when using the right panel mode of the controller. Fixed a bug where Forge Hammer could cause desync in specific circumstances. Fixed desync that could occur when placing a totem. Fixed desync that could occur with Earth Shatter. Fixed a client crash that could occur on controller inputs mode when uncertain items were placed into the crafting slot of the Essence tab. Fixed a client crash that could occur when equipping Merit of Service Unique Shield. Fixed a client crash that could occur with Tempest Bell in Party Play. Fixed a client crash that could occur with Stormlance. Fixed 2 other client crashes. Fixed 2 instance crashes. In the meantime, we're going to continue monitoring feedback and bug reports so that we can make additional fixes and adjustments. We hope you've all been enjoying the new content in Act 4 and the interludes, as well as the very first League mechanic in the Rise of the Abyssals. I cannot thank you all enough for playing and showing your support. I'm hoping the Earth Shatter, that's what our skill's called, right? No, it's Earthquake. Oh, never mind. Doesn't affect us. Rip. Well, there you go. those are all of the fixes coming our way in the near future. See you next time.